It is 3:30 in the morning. We just loaded up the car and we're on our way to Vermont for a week-long trip to see my family, and the last time I'll be there for probably a long time.
It comes and goes in the blink of an eye. Soon as I swear you've been left behind.
It is many hours later. It's 7:45. We had a pretty good travel day. Our flight was at just before 7 this morning. We were up at 2:30 because we live an hour from the airport. So it was a very early morning, and unfortunately, Isabella did not sleep that well. So I was running off of like an hour and a half of sleep, but somehow I made it through, and Isabella did so good. She slept on both of her flights. We had a layover in DC, and then we're only there for like 50 minutes, and then flew to Vermont after that. Both were about an hour and a half flights, and then we've just been hanging out with family the rest of the day. I took a nap with Isabella later in the afternoon. She got really tired since she was up at 3, and then I was exhausted, and now we're still just hanging out, and tomorrow we're gonna start our Vermont activities. We are doing our full Waterbury and Stowe day. So we've already hit a few places. We went to Ben & Jerry's, and they do little kitty ones where it's a single scoop, and that was perfect. So I could have just a little taste without having too much. And it was a new flavor I've never seen. I do non-dairy there, and they had one called Mocha Chino, and it was chocolate and coffee, non-dairy combined with chocolate and caramel swirl. It was so good. Then we walked around and looked at their little gift shop there. Then we just went to the Cabot Creamery, which is that building in the back. That is my all-time favorite place. If you've never had Cabot, you need to. If you like dairy, this is the place. It's so good, and we tried all of their cheese samples, and we even had one that was 10 years old. They had one that was 24 months, 36 months, 5 years, and 10 years. So that was really good, except for the 10 years. That was honestly a little too much for me, but my husband liked that one, so depends on your taste buds, I guess. We got maple rosemary seasoning that goes on meat, and then we also got, it's like the Chicago style popcorn that's maple and cheddar, so I'm really excited to try that since it's pure maple and Cabot cheddar. Then we went to Lake Champlain Chocolates, tried a free chocolate sample, and now we're going to my favorite, tied with Cabot, but for different reasons. We're going to Cold Hollow to try their iconic cider donut.
You might wake up one day having fought the things you don't need. Spend your whole life in vain. Was it worth the pain you're holding?
It is the next day, so after I last touched base with you yesterday, we went to Cold Hollow. Highly recommend if you guys are visiting Vermont for the first time, go there, get a cider donut, and ask for it to be warmed up, and it is just so good. It's one of my favorite things here. And then after that, we went and grabbed lunch at a place by the bike path in Stowe. It was a little Mexican spot. I got a little bowl that had like cilantro lime rice, black beans, chicken. It was really good. And then after that, we did our last stop at the Von Trapp Lodge, which is where all the people from Sound of Music went to because it reminded them the most of the Swiss Alps. So they had a bunch of cows, and we just looked at the view, although it was kind of foggy, but you can stay there. There's cross-country skiing, a lot of really fun outdoor adventure. And then that wrapped up our day in Stowe. Now we are just on our way to Shelburne Farms to go show Isabella the animals. This is also one of my favorite places and somewhere I went all the time growing up.
Watching as the world comes crashing down.
Look at that one. He's like, I'm
Look at where he put himself. He just got himself right.
He's like the smell of me. Don't compare.
Passing by all the times I could never decide. Now I'm stuck going along the ride.
Okay, it's been a couple of days after we went to the farm. We hung out with my cousin for a little bit and went to this really popular place called Al's that I always went to growing up, so that was fun. Yesterday was my brother's wedding reception barbecue thing, so I saw a lot of family, and now we're up at my family's camp. This is one of my favorite places to go, and I'm so excited to show Isabella.
It comes and goes in the blink of an eye. Soon as I swear you've been left behind, all the colors come back.
It will be one of three. It's either a wood duck, a hooded merganser, or a common merganser. They're all ducks.
Sort of like a picture in a drawer. I don't wanna look at anymore, but it's too hard.
We had such a fun day at my camp. We walked around, did all our usual things, saw what the beavers were up to, relaxed at the pond, had some good family time. Now we are in my parents' old neighborhood, or their neighborhood, soon to be their old neighborhood. We're going to my elementary school because I really want to bring my daughter to the playground, even though everyone's making fun of me. I think it'll be so much fun. Andrew, how's your trip been?
Oh, it's really good.
I don't wanna call you later.
The top of Mount Philo.
Like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page. I don't want it to complicate. I know you're riding away. Is there room for us both on the same wave? Nothing breaks so clearly when there's love on the line. My best friend told me someone that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try. Oh, why would I, when you were barely even mine? Oh, why would I?
We are at the Burlington airport, about to go back, wrapping up our trip. It was so much fun. The last time we checked in, we were on our way to the park. They ended up changing out the entire playground, which is kind of sad. So we ended up just doing a neighborhood walk. And then the next day, we actually did all of the last of my favorite Vermont things. We are back home now. It's the next day, and I just wanted to recap the last few days because I haven't checked in too much. So we went to that playground I was telling you about, but they actually replaced the entire playground. They completely took it out and put an entirely new one in. And she's not a huge fan of parks, so I was doing it mostly for nostalgia. So the fact that it was a completely different park, I didn't feel very attached to go, so we ended up just doing a stroll around the neighborhood, which was really nice because we hadn't done too much exercise since being there. So it was honestly really nice. And then the next day, we got up early and we did a hike. We went on Mount Philo, which is a hike in Charlotte, Vermont. This is one I did growing up all of the time. It's not too difficult, although adding a stroller going uphill the whole time, that was an added weight. I ended up not doing it most of the time, and my brother who we went with and Andrew, my husband, they rotated most of the time, which was really nice. And they have a road and a trail option, and so we did the road since we had the stroller, which was very helpful. And that was honestly such a highlight. It was hard. I was sore the next day. Oh, thank you. Here you go. I was sore the next day, but I'm so glad we did it. It was really nice and had really good views of Lake Champlain, which was so much fun. And then I went back home because I had a meeting, needed to do some work. And then after that, we went to Mazzas, which is in Colchester, Vermont. They didn't have too much this time of year. I definitely recommend if you're going in June to hit up their strawberry festival. They have so many strawberries, which are sold all over the grocery stores, but also they make really good homemade strawberry fudge, strawberry donuts, and a lot of baked goods. And then also their pumpkin festival in the fall is a must-see. So if you're there those times of year, definitely go. But they didn't have too much, so we just saw the petting zoo, which actually the sweetest and the saddest thing happened. So you could use a quarter and get food to feed the goats. We didn't have a quarter, and this other dad and his daughter who were there heard us saying that, and so the daughter came up and gave us a quarter, which was so sweet, so we could feed the goats. But then after we fed the goats, one of the goats ended up biting Isabella's finger, and she was crying. She didn't get hurt, there was no blood or anything, but she was definitely scared, so that was sad. And then we hit up the gardens and looked inside, and then after that we drove up to South Hero, Vermont, which is in our islands, another must-see, especially in the summer. And we hit up Joe's Snack Bar, which I've actually never been, but it reminds me of Al's, but the island's equivalent of Al's. Their corn dog was so good. It tasted like it had fresh cornbread made around the hot dog, which I am a corn dog lover. I've always loved corn dogs, so that was so good. And the french fries reminded me a lot of Al's. And then we went into the store next door and we got pinwheels, which is like a dough cinnamon sugar dessert. This was the best thing I had the entire trip. It was so fresh and so good. And then we picked up a cider donut with maple frosting for my dad, a maple cookie for my mom, and then Andrew got this like cider donut sandwich with maple cream in the middle. And then after that, we went and visited my grandma. She lives in Williston, so we hung out there for a little bit. Then that night, just had dinner at home with my parents, and then did a fire in their fire pit in the backyard. Made some s'mores, and that was really fun. And then the next day we were gonna do a day trip to Montreal, but it was the day before leaving and we wanted more of a chill day, so we ended up just staying home. There was a lot of stuff I needed to go through since my parents are moving, so I kind of spent the day going through stuff. We went to Shemansky Park, which is a park in my parents' neighborhood, and played there with Isabella for a little bit. And we just hung out with my family. My brother and Jamie, his wife, came over. We took one final photo in front of the house, which was really nostalgic, and it was just a really nice way to end off the trip. And then we flew home yesterday. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you're interested in going to Vermont, definitely let me know in the comments what time of year. I highly recommend the fall, but also the summer is so fun for the lake and mountains and hiking. And then if you're a skier, the winter is also a really great time. I went in the spring, so the weather is very hit or miss. It was 40s my whole trip, and then the last day was 75, which is very typical of a Vermont spring. But if you guys have been and you have other recommendations for people to see, leave them in the comments. And if you guys like this, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!